constructive speech is the first speech of the debate round. It's also the one that you have the most time to prepare for. So you want to put a lot of effort into it. The goal of this speech is twofold. You want to lay out the strongest iteration, the strongest version of your arguments. The version of your arguments that has the best evidence, the best claims, the best warrants, the best impacts for your side. And you want to give your judge the best impression of you. You want to show how much you've prepared and how ready you are for this round. Now, the format of a constructive speech is fairly straightforward. First, you start with your introduction. That's fairly obvious. Now, at a basic level, the introduction should explain who you are and what side of the debate you're on. As you become more advanced as a debater and as a speaker, you're going to want to get a little creative with your introduction. You're going to want to become a little rhetorically stronger so that your judge will remember who you are. We'll get to this in our public speaking video. Now, once you've done that, you need to have definitions. These definitions are intended to clarify the round, and preferably clarify it in your favor. You want to present definitions that are ultimately advantageous to your side in the debate round. An example of this and how this might work is with casino gambling. Well, let's say you want to, let's say you're on the con side. You want to make casino gambling look bad. Well, you might want to include particularly harmful forms of gambling often seen in casinos. For example, internet gambling, which is shown to have a higher rate of addiction. Slot machines often have the same pattern. You might want to include those as part of your definition of a casino, which would then make favor your side of the round, would ultimately mean that you have the advantage. Next, you want to have a framework. You want to explain how the judge should decide the round. And again, this should ultimately favor your side. If you're arguing in favor of wiretapping and secret surveillance, you might want to have a framework like national security. That goal is one that explicitly benefits your side of the round. Next, we get to our arguments, also known as contentions. These arguments should each have a claim, a warrant, and an impact. Again, you want to have one sentence explaining why your side is correct. You want to have an explanation of why that claim is true. You want to have evidence that backs that warrant up, that analysis up. And you want to explain why this argument's important to your side. You're going to need to be able to do that 3 times. Lastly, you need to conclude the speech. You need to conclude it ideally in a way that your judge is going to remember, a way that your judge is going to find quite significant when they decide who wins the round. We'll get to rebuttal speeches in our later video, but I highly recommend that you spend a great deal of time researching and preparing and practicing this speech so that it's ready for your judge to see. Thank you.